everyone. Now I would like to share with you something interesting about English, and it is about the way Indonesian people learn English. So at the first, we have to know what is the importance of learning English. So for me, the importance of learning English is to communication. So I like to have a friend in overseas. I like to talk with native speaker. So I have to know English. So basically, according to Holmes, the benefit or the importance of learning English is not just for communication, but it's also to build a friendship and also to for the economy, for the relationship, and for cultural ties.
These are some of the reasons why people learning English. It is because international language of academic, easy to access the internet, and business for the traveling.
So now we will see how English is used globally. So according to Draper, English is mother tongue of 380 million people, and it is used worldwide by the newspaper, the magazine, the scientists, the businessman, and the politician. So according to Sebesta, the English is spread all over the world by the media and the technology. All we know that the technology, the media on internet or many things is from English. So the spreading of English is by the media and technology. And now all people in all over the world are use English, and this is the way that English spread all over the world.
So how do people acquire English language in general? So we can acquire a language through the music, through movie, the TV shows, news, entertainment, talking English in class, book in English, article on the web, and memorize vocabularies. So these are the way to acquire English, and this is really help us to add our vocabularies.
So according to Grasson, there are 5 states for people who acquire the language. Stage number 1 is pre-production or silent period. So the learner receives the vocabulary up to 500 words, and the learner do not yet speak the language. But not all the learner in silent period, because some of them choose to speak straight away. And for learners that go through the silent period, it takes around 3 up to 6 months. Stage number 2 is early production. So at this stage, the learner is can be able to memorize chunks of language, and even though they make mistake, and the vocabulary up to 1,000 words, and it take time of around 6 months. Stage number 3 is speech emergence. So the vocabulary increase around 3,000 words, and the learner can be able to use the question and the phrases, and also the learner are often make mistake of grammar. The next is stage number 4. It is intermediate fluency. So the vocabulary increase around 6,000 words, and the learner use the complicated sentence, and the learners can be able to share their thoughts and opinions, and the grammatical error is frequency. The final stage is advanced fluency. So the learners take 5 or 10 years to learn English, and the level of this learner or this stage is close to native speaker.
These are the benefits of learning English. The first is deeper understanding of the cultures, increased career option, memory is significantly improved, and increased creativity. So the first is about culture. As we know, when we learn about English, it means that we have to learn about their culture, learn about the way they communicate each other, and many more. And also, there are many companies open office overseas, and English language will double the number of career options available to us. And for the memory, is learning English forces us to work on our memory. So it will recall all the vocabularies, and it will help to improve our memory. And for increased creativity, several studies found that those who are learning second language are more creative because it will force us to create a sentence in creative ways. So stimulates our brain and boosts our creativity capacity.
Now we will see how Indonesian explore the language and how they improve the language ability. So before that, I will show to you the facts about the situation of English in Indonesia.
These are some problems as faced by Indonesian. It is because of class size, time allotment, learners' low motivation, and teachers' low speaking proficiency are frequently reported as the major source. So this is the problem facing by Indonesian. So the result is Indonesian learning English slowly.
For me, this is need to be concerned because this is quite sad for me because the English in Indonesia is not really important maybe because that is the foreign language. So this is really need hard work. And back to the question how Indonesian explore the language and how they improve their ability of using the language. So for me, how I explore the language is by reading. So by reading or by listening to music because I like music. So if I find the new word, I will try to find the meaning and I will try to use use it. So to improve the ability is like I said by reading, by listening, by speaking the words, by writing, and this is really helpful to improve the language. Now we'll see do Indonesian people imitate the pattern of English language. According to my experience, I like to imitate. So like when I watch a movie, when there are expression or there are new words, I will try to listen and imitate. And this is for me this is helpful because it will help for my pronunciation and it will aid my vocabulary. And I will show you the study research how imitate affect to the way we learn.
So the results show that learning through imitation or imitating the person you're talking to help your speech comprehension. And we'll see the research from in 1999. Imitation belonged to the area of the cerebral cortex. And the neural mechanism implementing imitation might be used also for the language. So imitate is really helpful for us to learn a language that not our native language.
Now we will see how our brain produces the words.
So we will see how our brain produces the words. So the auditory cortex involved in hearing sound, and for Wernicke's area is involved in understanding the speech sound, and for Broca's area is involved in planning a speech response. And finally, the motor cortex is responsible for to produce the words. So this is the way our brain produce the word for us to talk.
Now I will share my experience how do I improve my English competence. So because I like music, one thing that I like or one thing that I do is listening to music. So every new song that I heard, I try to uh, I try to listen the new words or the words that I don't get or I don't understand, and I try to uh, give the meanings, or sometimes I don't get the words, I don't get the meaning, I will search on Google, and for me it is really helpful to improve my speaking or improve my English. And the other way is by reading. So I have a Bible from English by English, so I try to read every day, and if I find a new word, I will look at the dictionary. And for me, because my environment is not English environment, so it is quite hard for me to improve my English, because I already read several research that say to improve English, we have to be in English environment. So for all of us to improve our English ability is by reading, by listening, and we have to create English environment. And how well I make pattern or make a sentence, actually I'm still struggling right now, because um, I'm still learning about grammar, because grammar is so confused for me. And about the sound, actually I'm still struggling to listen to the sound of the words, because English in many abroad many countries, I mean, they have their own accent, and this is make me confused, make me quite hard to get the words that they mean. So to listen to the sound and to make a pattern of sentence is still hard for me, but I try my best. I try to learn the sound, learn the pattern, learn the grammar, and this is really takes a long time for me because I'm because my style to learn is quite slow and I really need some time. And what makes me motivated to learn English or to keep learning the this language is because I like traveling and I have a dream or a goals to work overseas or to have to be a missionaries in overseas, and of course I have to use English. And it's not only about that, but I want to continue my study in overseas, and this is really I have to pay attention to my English English improvement. And the things that makes me keep motivate is because I want to be fluent in English because I like to have a friend. I like to have a friend or build a friend with the native speaker or the new people, and I like this kind of reason. In learning language that not our language, of course we have to face the difficulties. And according to my experience and what I feel until now is I'm still struggling with the tenses. So I haven't solved this problem yet because I'm still trying to difference differentiating the tenses and of course the part of speech, the verb, the adjective, because sometimes they can be changed. The noun can be the adjective or the adjective become the noun, and this is make me confused because Indonesian do not have the tenses, I think, because we just to for example to tell the things that action the text action in the past, we just use the adverbial time, and this does not exist in and I mean the tenses is not exist in Indonesia, in Indonesian language. For the difficulties that I have solved is about the use of pronoun. So at the first time I learned the pronoun, I was confused because in Indonesia we don't have it. For the word dia, it can be for the girl or for the boys. So like in English, for the boys we have to use he, him, his, or and for the girl, she, her, sees. So this is sometimes make me confused. But now I know I know how to use the pronoun.
Everybody should be given every opportunity to learn English. So this is the task of every educators of tomorrow.